Hi, my name's Lachlan Wilmot and I'm the Strength and Power Coach here at the GWS Giants. In this season, what we've looked at over the past 5 episodes is how we can safely reintroduce plyometric or jump land training into an athlete's protocol with a nice steady foundation of building them up for a return to play. This episode and the next 2 episodes are going to look a little bit more about how we can prepare them for a return to performance. Now the difference is, an athlete can get out there and feel good when they're moving around, but can they truly perform to their maximum potential? So what we want to look at now is how do we start introducing the stretch shortening cycle back into an athlete's repertoire, but also how can we start progressing them forward with a lot of their mechanical positions along with that explosive output as well. So Maddie's back again today to take us through a couple of examples of how we can start introducing all of the foundations we've been building up to and now knocking on the head with some continuous movements or more movements that are focused around stretch shortening cycle and performance. So what we're going to look at now is a continuous hurdle jump. Maddie's built up her foundation around a single hurdle jump, getting used to landing positions, getting used to takeoff positions. And now we want to start utilizing the continuous nature of this exercise to teach her a nice active heel recovery and utilizing that hamstring as an explosive movement, pulling the foot up, pulling the knee up and making sure that she's not only taking off with some power, but she's getting herself in good positions, ready to reinitiate that power for the next step or next jump. So Maddie, do you want to start to take us through a continuous hurdle jump here? A couple of the cues that we're going to look at is not just the same ones we've looked at previously with our nice arm movement. We're using our nice strong absorbative factors around knees out, toes up, strong hip position. But we want to see Maddie's heel come up to her bum and cycle over. We want to have that cyclical movement of her legs to make sure that she's not only taking off with some good explosive movements, she's actually preparing herself for the next jump as well. Okay, here we go. Up. Really nice. We can see Maddie's head moving with nice fluidity as she goes through. That heel's starting to come up. We can work on that recoil a little bit more, but we also want to make sure that that takeoff is better. So that contact time is much greater because we want to know, is she going through just because she's injured, she's absorbing too much, or is she ready to return onto the field with some explosive components? Here we go, reset. Bang. Good, really nice. So now she's starting to get the rhythm, starting to get used to that heel recovery and producing some force into the ground that she can actually get off the ground with some quickness as well. Let's go again. Stick, stick, stick. Good. All right, so as you can see with Maddie, she's coming through. The contact time on the ground is still a little bit high. We want to try and quicken that up, but that comes with any type of return to performance. Most athletes, as long as their angles are good, we can start to toil away with a continuous jump, knowing that we want to get them more explosive, and that will come with progression over the next couple of weeks. But it's really important to make sure the angles, the movement of the leg, and the absorption or landing positions are key. So Maddie's just demonstrated a continuous hurdle jump and our first progression of trying to bring back a little bit of return to performance into her program to make sure that she's ready to go on field or on court to show an explosive component to her training. Now we're going to challenge her a little bit more and take it from a unilateral perspective. So put her onto one leg and see if we can't challenge her a little bit more. Our single leg hop option is definitely going to be a little bit more horizontal in nature rather than our hurdle jumps that had a little bit more vertical force to them. So Maddie's going to demonstrate a nice cyclical movement of her leg. We're still encouraging that active hamstring to make sure the heel comes up to the glute. As she's ticking over, it's going to be a cyclical movement over each hurdle, making sure that she's preparing for the next jump and explode on through with that. So Maddie, let's give us a bit of a demonstration. Heel, 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 and stick. Really nice. So you can see that active heel coming up every time, making sure that she's preparing for the next stance. I see too many people doing hops or bounds, even over hurdles, with quite straight knees, quite relaxed knees. We want to make sure the whole system is actively pulling itself up and then turning itself back over again for the next jump. Here we go. Heel, heel, and stick. Well done, really nice. So the past two exercises we just looked at are those ones that can start to show a little bit more explosiveness for our athletes. These are more end stage exercises and ones that are really starting to challenge the stretch shortening cycle and that return or that recovery leg to make sure that our athletes, whether they be team sport or individual sport, have a little bit of stretch shortening cycle to their return to performance. Making sure it's explosive, making sure the mechanical load is good, and making sure all the positions are really nice.